Our police and armed forces can't count on Bob Hackett. Listen to what Brent McDaniels, who lost his son in Afghanistan, and Rick Neely, who served as police officer, have to say.
My son, Lance Corporal Josh McDaniels, is KIA in Afghanistan, June 12, 2011. There was no stopping him from joining. He had a calling. He actually gave up a job making $40 an hour to join the service country. And really proud of him. He saved a lot of lives while he was over there. We keep in contact with his brothers. Some of the stories we hear, how many lives he saved. It didn't really surprise us. Super proud of him. My wife had seen that other Gold Star mothers were having signs put up on highways all across the country, and honor their son or daughter who was killed. And we went to Stivers to try to get help on that because we really didn't know, who to go to. And he got us in contact with, he got in contact with our local legislator, which turned out to be Bob Hackett, and he just absolutely refused to do it for over 2 years. Eventually had to, get somebody else involved to get him to, to get it done. He tried to convince me to have a sign put up on some old gravel road off of Route 40, and also, took it into the City of London City Council meeting, even though it had nothing to do with them, to try to turn it into a circus. And just for some reason just would not allow a Gold Star mother, the one thing she asked for, after her son was killed in Afghanistan. I have no idea why he would do something like that.
My name is Rick Neely. I was a police officer for 21 years. Through the course of my career, I encountered a lot of traumatic incidents. Probably the straw that broke the camel's back was an incident I was involved in 2006. It was the suicide death of my friend. He left Northwest Ohio, where I was a police officer, and we were able to locate him down in Southern Ohio. We spoke to him on the phone for probably 2 hours, trying to convince him to come back. I was on the phone with him. He said to me, "This is it, Rick," and I heard a gunshot, which I later found out that he had shot himself in the head. Through the course of counseling, my wife and I found out that I was diagnosed with PTSD. Through that, I became involved with several national organizations and studies. It's something that I feel passionate about. Because of that passion, I became involved in, through the state of Ohio, a bill, Senate Bill 252, which would have addressed PTSD in first responders as a workers' comp injury, which it is currently not unless there's an accompanying physical injury. Through that process, my wife and I traveled to Columbus probably 4 or 5 times. We met with the FOP, Fraternal Order of Police. We met with National Alliance of Mental Illness. We also met with Congressman Bob Hackett, who we were informed was going to oppose this bill. When we spoke with Senator Hackett, we took stacks of information, stacks of data, a lot of research on PTSD in law enforcement. Senator Hackett presented me one article from a Dayton newspaper where a couple veterans were found to be fraudulent in their claim of PTSD. I found it amazing that a legislator could be that callous towards us. One of the statements he made was that if somebody in law enforcement finds they can't handle it, they should find a different industry. I found that appalling, that somebody you don't get into law enforcement to make big bucks. You get into it because you love it, and it's a career choice.
Ohio Senate Bill 252 passed 30-1, but Bob Hackett, chairman of the Insurance Committee, stopped the bill from going to the House floor for a vote. Brian Walton went to the United States Air Force Officer Training School just a few months after 9/11. He served as an FBI intelligence analyst working counterterrorism and counterintelligence cases. Brian served 2 years in Iraq and Afghanistan as a contract intelligence analyst. While serving with a special operations unit, he spent 15 months in Baghdad, targeting the group now known as ISIS. Bob Hackett never served in the military, and his lack of compassion and understanding for our military and police officers is reflected in the way he treated both Rick and Brent. On March 15th, vote for the candidate who will support those who serve. Vote for Brian Walton. Paid for by Brian Walton for Ohio.